So let's get started and talk about why we're here. So we're here because we don't have a political party that works for us. The staggering wealth at the top has thoroughly corrupted our governing institutions, and we are now in an age of an unchecked oligarchy. To give you an idea of where we are, in 2015, just before he died, David Rockefeller's net worth was $3 billion. 6 years later, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are each at almost $200 billion. And it's been both parties, Republican and Democratic, who made this level of wealth possible. Bill Clinton, in exchange for corporate money, eliminated the regulations that once protected working people from the worst forms of exploitation. And this abandonment of working people is why college is unaffordable, why our infrastructure is failing, why corporations do not pay meaningful taxes. It's the reason why 1/3 of Americans are struggling to pay bills, why we don't have universal health care or a living wage, and why we have a militarized police force. It's why over 2 million Americans are in prison, the highest prison rate in the world, why we're involved in endless wars, and why the environmental issues of the last century are now a climate catastrophe. The total wealth of America's now 745 billionaires has increased to over $2 trillion since the pandemic began in March of 2020. And compare that to the additional 8 million Americans who were recently classified as newly poor, with people of color disproportionately represented. To quote Chris Hedges, the Democrats and Republicans have legalized a level of greed and fraud that even the heirs of the robber barons thought unsustainable. According to a Gallup article from earlier this year, support for a third political party is at a high point. 62% of Americans say a third party is needed, and a record high of 63% of Republicans favor a third party. The poll also shows 50% of US adults identify as political independents, which is also the highest percentage that Gallup has ever measured in a single poll. We are here because we are not represented by the two dominant political parties in the United States.